Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Alex Malkis, and I'm a manager in the Fairfax County Economic Development Authority Israel office, where we work on supporting and assisting Israeli companies expand their operation in the US and Fairfax County specifically. Our office in Israel operates since 2004 and supported more than 40 Israeli companies to establish operation in Fairfax County. So we are very excited for today's program that is brought to you by the Indian and Israeli offices of the Fairfax County EDA. We will cover the hottest technological trends in cloud technology, cybersecurity, and data centers, and we'll uncover market opportunities waiting for you in Northern Virginia. We will have with us today our partners from Israel, IATI, Israel Advanced Technology Industry, and from India, IACC, Indo-America Chamber of Commerce. And lastly, we will have an exciting panel with industry experts from 22nd Century Technologies, CoreSite, Nostromo, Rackbank, and Fairfax County CISO. So let's not waste too much time and begin. I would like to introduce Liat Sokol from IATI. Liat, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Alex. So good afternoon or good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to our webinar on market opportunities in Northern Virginia for Israeli and Indian companies. My name is Liat, as Alex mentioned, and I'm the Director of Development and Industry Relations at IATI, Israel's Association of Tech Industries. First, I would like to thank Angel Kotz and Alex Malix from Fairfax County EDA for organizing and coordinating this webinar. The Fairfax County Economic Development Authority is a VIP IATI member, and for several years now, we have collaborated in support of Israeli companies looking to enter the US market. I would also like to thank Anuj Sahai, International Investment Manager, Dev Malik, the Fairfax County EDA India representative, and Indo-America Chamber of Commerce for collaborating with us. And thanks to all our panelists as well. Despite the ongoing war, Israel remains committed to conducting business as usual. As we strive to return to normalcy, we optimistically persist in fostering and strengthening our collaborative efforts and actively promote business opportunities during these challenging times. And this is why we are holding today's webinar. As the umbrella organization of high-tech and life science industries in Israel, IATI continuously connects the entire tech ecosystem, from investor to early stage and growth companies, academia and researchers, hospitals, incubators, R&D centers, and much more. Together with our members from all parts of the ecosystem, we work hard to maintain and promote our advanced industries across the whole value chain in Israel and abroad. So without further ado, I wish you all a successful webinar, and I hope you find it valuable. And you are more than welcome to contact me afterwards. You can find my contact details in the chat below, in the chat box below. Thank you.
Thank you, Liat. Next, I would like to introduce Dev Malik from the India office. Dev, please.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening to all the esteemed leaders. As the FCDA representative, India representative, I am dedicated to assisting the Indian organizations, tech innovations, and leaders to expand their business into the Fairfax County, and thus facilitating the successful transition and so ensuring their business success. Well, as we all know, Fairfax County is renowned as the global business destination, offering prime real estate and easy access to anything any business would need and want. That's why we say Fairfax County has it all, making it an ideal for industries ranging from information technology, healthcare to aerospace and emerging technologies. Now I'll leave it to the depth of insights of business opportunities and success stories to our esteemed dignitaries, my colleagues and leaders, and won't take that limelight. In the light of this, please allow me to introduce the long-standing and amazing partner of FCDA India office, the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Pankaj Vohra has graced us to join the event webinar. He is the National President of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Today, with esteemed leadership and expertise in finance and commerce, Pankaj has played a pivotal role in fostering bilateral and trade relations between India and US. Over to you, Pankaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Dev. Hi, everyone. Good morning to all the participants from North America, and good evening to all our members and guests from India. I'm Pankaj Bohra, National President, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Today, I have brought for you all greetings from 1,600 members of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Our chamber has a very special relationship with Fairfax County Economic Development Authority. We have been working together for years for promotion of our common objectives. As you might be aware, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce is an apex bilateral chamber promoting trade, commerce, and investments between India and USA. This chamber is 55 years old. Today, we have 1,600 business entities as our members and 14 offices all across the India. We do have 38 partner organizations in USA who have been closely working with us for promotion of bilateral trade and investments. Our primary function is policy advocacy, but we have been providing many other services to our members, such as B2B services, helping our members to take up the international trade. We act as a reservoir of knowledge for the startups. We act as a bridge between the Indian entrepreneurs and all 50 economic development offices of 50 states of America. Similarly, we also act as a bridge between the US investors and 28 economic development offices of Indian states. Today, Indo-US economic partnership is stronger than ever. The changing global dynamics, shifting economic landscape, emerging technologies, and favorable policies of both the governments have created tremendous opportunities for the business communities of USA and India. I'm happy to share with you that today America has emerged as the largest trading partner of India with over $200 billion of bilateral trade. Our chamber has set a target of achieving bilateral trade of $500 billion, and we are hopeful that in time to come, we will be able to achieve this target. Indo-US business relationship is today at a threshold of entering into a new orbit. We are expanding our areas of cooperation. We are talking about technology transfer. We are jointly working on many space applications. We are discussing civil use of nuclear technology, and we are also working together on innovations, emerging technology, cybersecurity, space security. I believe you all are aware of recent digital revolution in India. How digital revolution has changed our banking system, our payment system, financial services, healthcare, education, agriculture, manufacturing, and above all, an effective e-governance system. The new Digital India mission envisions digitally empowered economy, for which a robust digital infrastructure is a prerequisite. Without high-speed internet, data storage system, data security, modern telecom system, we cannot enjoy fruits of emerging technologies. Today, India is the fastest growing economy, and in time to come, with the vast talent pool, India is going to play a central role in digitalization of global economies. And whenever we talk about global digital infrastructure, our minds start thinking of Fairfax County, which is emerging as a second Silicon Valley of USA. All our members who want to go global, they prefer to start with USA. And within USA, Fairfax County is the first choice today. The strategic location, better connectivity through rail and road, robust digital infrastructure, modern telecom system, availability of skilled manpower, instantaneously attracts Indian entrepreneurs to Fairfax County. Today, more than 30 Indian companies have already secured their foothold in the Fairfax County. To name a few, TCS, Infosys, HCL, Hexaware, Reliance, and there are scores of Indian companies in pipeline who are going to start their business operations in Fairfax County in a near future. I'm glad we are going to hear many eminent panelists today who will share their knowledge and wisdom on the latest trends in the cutting-edge technologies and what are the investment opportunities available in Fairfax County. I'm sure all the participants are going to be enlightened by very interesting and engaging discussion in an hour or so. So without taking much time, I would like to compliment Fairfax County Economic Development Authority for organizing this webinar and thank you them for giving me an opportunity of being with you. Once again, a warm welcome to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pankaj, for gracing us with your precious insights and support. Please allow me now to introduce you all with the esteemed leadership who is the moderator for today's event, Mr. Ashik Coates. He's the Assistant Director of International Business Investment, and he leads initiatives for India and Israel markets, alongside engaging with our Fairfax County cybersecurity community, which is one of the centric topics of today's webinar. Over to you, Ashik.
Thank you very much, Dev. So thank you everyone for gathering today for our event. I'll talk a little bit about Fairfax County. We are in Northern Virginia, between Dallas Airport, Dallas International Airport, all the way to the Pentagon and then to Washington, D.C. So we are in a business community that not just government contract, but also very emerging sectors such as data centers, cyber, aerospace and defense, of course, AI, and several others that we'll talk about them today. Fairfax County is located between Boston and Miami. For people that are not familiar, that region is the third largest economy in the world. We have easy access to not just to the East Coast, but of course, we have 3 airports in the region to any destination in the US or Latin America or Canada. So it's a very convenient to establish a presence with more than 440 international companies for about 44 countries. Northern Virginia is a cluster for growth. It's about 2.5 million people with a GDP of almost 40% of the state of Virginia, about 135 billion. Very, very low unemployment, currently probably 2.8, but we have about, just in Northern Virginia, 110,000 open positions. So we are actively helping companies to find those employees. Northern Virginia get about $55 billion government contract. It's mean more than 47 states of the Union of the United States. Think about it. We have 500 companies, about 11 in Fairfax County, from Capital One to Leidos to Northrop Grumman, Freddie Mae, Booz Allen Hamilton, Hilton. We get a nice investment, 2.2 billion in 2022. I think it was a little bit higher in 2023. Northern Virginia is a very diverse office and industrial warehouse space, about 200 million. Fairfax County alone, by the way, is 120 million office square, the second largest suburban market after Orange County. Vacancy around 16%. We're doing much better than large cluster of office space such as San Francisco, 30+ vacancy rate in New York. Washington is pretty high, so we are doing well. We have 21,000 technology establishment, employing 1.3 million people in the region. So it's a pretty, what we call the quietly recession-proof area. As federal government continue to dominate the industry, we see additional industry, but it's a pretty robust economic region. And just example, if we can go 15, 16 years back, 2007, 2008, the recession hit after the mortgage crisis and housing crisis, we started to see companies moving. 2008 was Volkswagen from headquartered from Michigan, then Hilton from Beverly Hills, SAIC, Northrop Grumman, Verizon, Bechtel. Just look at the cluster of companies moving from the West Coast, mostly California, to Northern Virginia. Then we see Intelsat, a satellite company, move out of Washington, D.C., whoever familiar, it was used to be on Connecticut Avenue. Then we see the financial sector, regional banks that are growing, Navy Federal, Penn Fed. We saw some software companies continue to grow, especially and including during the pandemic. Microsoft, Guidehouse, we saw Appian and MicroStrategy continue to grow. We even got a tuna company, came from Starkist, moved their headquarters here to Weston, currently owned by a South Korean company. So we are on that as well. 22nd Century 22 gave us a large project expansion. We thank you very much, Anil. And government contractor Amentum also 2023 moved, I think, from Maryland to Northern Virginia. So we see a momentum that is happening that fit our sector growth. Let's talk about the data center. This is the king, for my opinion. Northern Virginia is leading the nation with the data center, the #1 in the US. Actually, I think #1 in the world in terms of a data center cluster. We can see more than 2,000 megawatt capacity, and it's growing. We know that this was for 22, 23 with the additional data center that are being built. It's 5 times larger than the second largest area in the US, which is Dallas, Texas. So Northern Virginia, 64% plus use the US market for data center traffic, 230, probably 235 plus site today. Just example, Amazon, that building HQ2 in Arlington, invested so far $52 billion in data center and announced in early 2023 that in the next 20 years, they will invest $35 billion in infrastructure and data center in Virginia. So Virginia has become the infrastructure hub for not just the government, but the private sector. You can see, by the way, just some of the companies here, CoreSite that is on the call and others. And as you can see, we put a number FY22. The federal government put a lot of money on cybersecurity for civilian agency. We don't know about what the Pentagon number is. A little bit about the cyber that Mike Dent, our CISO, will talk more. We have about 440 plus related cybersecurity companies, from software to consulting to certification to reseller. You can see a sample of those companies here. There are 22 cybersecurity centers, excellent in the Washington region. Virginia is investing $2 billion in talent program, including in cyber. Virginia actually got an award for talent workforce development last year related to this effort. Each year we have 13,000 graduate in computer science related program, which is a lot for the United States. Of course, India and China have many more graduates. And as I mentioned, DHS spent like $12 billion of cybersecurity in FY23. Here are some of the university. We have 60 plus colleges and university in the DC area, which fuel our growing need for a skilled and talented workforce. From Virginia Tech to Howard University, Johns Hopkins, George Mason, GW, and of course, University of Virginia as well. Example of some of the Israeli companies that are here, we can see some in the cyber. We have a cluster of cyber companies. We have defense from IAI to Elbit that acquired Logos a year ago. Some smaller companies. We have Amdocs, Variant. So 40 plus Israeli companies are here, and the momentum is going, especially now when the Israeli company looking for US expansion, dealing with the war situation in Israel, so we're here to help them. On the India side, we mentioned 30 plus companies. This is just example, really marquee names, and we see a growing momentum with the help of our Indo-America Chamber of Commerce partners. Services we do, we help soft landing services for companies to get familiar with the area. We help them to find partners, people, sometimes offices, bring them to event. We introduce them to universities and some grant option, and like this Virginia Commonwealth Cyber Initiative, we also provide the grant for workforce development and research. Also working with them to educate them about federal grant. So that's what we do with our overseas offices, and not just in India and in Israel. We have in Germany, we cover Europe, Seoul, South Korea, and Britain. So let's move to, I think I'm doing right on time. Let's move to the panel. I would like to introduce the panel member. We'll do it one by one. I'll start with Anil, Mr. Anil Sharma, the CEO of 22nd Century Technology right here in McLean, actually very close to our office. Anil, please take, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Asher, for having us here, and welcome all from India, Israel, and of course local here, Fairfax. 22nd Century Technologies. I'm the CEO and founder of 22nd Century Technologies, a Fairfax-based GovCon company. In fact, Asher mentioned earlier, we moved our headquarters from New Jersey to Fairfax after spending some time here, looking at the opportunities as well as the business-friendly culture of Fairfax County. So we moved our headquarters from some New Jersey to here. So we are a very focused public sector company. All we do is the government, both federal and state and local. The slide shows the beautiful US map. In fact, it's in my office room behind me. You guys can see that where I'm sitting right now. So which shows our presence all over United States. We're present in all 50 states. We are providing IT services, I would say is IP-enabled IT services to all over United States, and both federal as well as state and local. Size-wise, we are around 6,000 plus employees in the United States, and we have a office in supporting the DoD, OCONUS, all over another 27 countries where we support the DoD, United States Department of Defense, OCONUS work in Europe and Pacific and some other places. We also have an office in India, around 600 people in India as our offshore office, where we develop software products in Chandigarh, India, as well as some back office work there. We are federal. This place, Fairfax, is almost, again, I heard the term second Silicon Valley, where a lot of startups happening, a lot who are focused on the technologies, products, services, to the focus on the government sector. So this is the place, where everything is happening. You know, we are the Fairfax County is the border is 15 minutes away from the Washington DC. So you probably know that's where everything is happening here. A lot of new trends, technologies. We as United States as a nation wanted to always have been in the front for the technologies and wanted to stay. And with the partnerships of two friendly country here, represented India and Israel, both are on technology side upfront. So we use a lot of those technologies products as partners here. And we, as 22nd Century Technologies, also use those partnerships. We, as a company, growing from services, total services, to now the products. We are doing some acquisitions on the product side of it, both on cloud and cybersecurity. So those are the two areas where our focus is digital transformation and the cloud transformation, as well as cybersecurity. We are supporting some of the nation's mission critical cyber program, including some Department of Defense and many civilian agencies, as well as 27 different state and local agencies where we're providing the cybersecurity services. Saying that, I will be available for any questions. Asher has all my information. We are always looking for the partnerships from as well as looking to partnership and acquisitions for the right products and technologies in the area. Thank you.
Neil, thank you very much. We appreciate your overview and your inside look. And later on, I'll have a few more questions for you on the second part of the program.
Sure.
Let's now move to Matt Jones, Vice President of Sales at CoreSite. Matt, please take the floor.
Okay, thank you, Asher. I just want to take a quick moment to thank again Asher as well as Anuj for inviting me to the panel today. I appreciate the opportunity to introduce CoreSite for a few minutes, and hopefully it'll be valuable for everybody on the webinar today. And I'm obviously available for any questions after the event as well. But by way of introduction, my name is Matt Johns. I'm Vice President for CoreSite. So I have the privilege of working with, frankly, a lot of the companies that Asher went through just a moment ago, based in Fairfax County. I'm located in Reston, which is in the heart of Fairfax County. So I have oversight for Northern Virginia market as well as our Southeast territory with CoreSite. So Asher, if you can move to the next slide, please. So CoreSite at a glance, I just want to give everyone a quick snapshot of who we are. I'm going to concentrate on the left side of the slide. You can see some of our corporate data points on the right side, but generally we are owners and operators of a very unique data center platform throughout the United States. So our data center assets are very network rich, meaning we are highly connected. We have a high concentration of network providers and service providers, as well as cloud providers that are all physically located within our data center campuses throughout the United States. So these are very hard to replicate data center assets in major tier 1 markets. Today, we are in 10 major metropolitan markets throughout the United States. Northern Virginia is one of our largest campuses in the portfolio today. And our solutions really enable enterprises, networks, and cloud providers to come together and exchange data and facilitate business. So we really are there to future-proof digital business for our enterprise customers. So we operate these large-scale campuses, these data center campuses. And again, within these campuses, there's a high concentration of networks as well as cloud. So when enterprises come to us, they typically have hybrid cloud requirements or multi-cloud requirements. And our campuses are perfectly suited to allow those enterprises to locate their critical infrastructure, their IT infrastructure, and connect to the services, the partners, and the networks and the clouds that they need to. So this allows them to really kind of reduce the cost of the network cost and complexity. It helps enterprises optimize their cloud performance and increases the resiliency of their business overall. We also have experience in dealing with artificial intelligence and high performance compute type of environments. So we have experience in really supporting these type of power density and cooling environments that are needed for today's applications. So we continue to see the creep in power density that come into our facilities, and we are operationally very well suited to support those type of designs. So Asher, if you could move to the next slide, please. Thank you. Perfect. So State of the Data Center Report. So this is an interesting report that we support every year. So we, through CIO.com, we develop and gather research from approximately 300 IT executives and IT leaders out there, and we capture their feedback and thoughts on IT infrastructure, as well as just generally where the technology landscape is going. And these are 4 areas I want to quickly talk about as far as some of the findings of the report. So co-location continues to be very much front and center of a major need that enterprises have that support basically, again, the multi-cloud strategy. When we talk to IT leaders, co-location is very central to their entire strategy. It allows them to scale resources very effectively, very cost effectively. And it's something that, again, it allows customers to scale their private IT business along with their public cloud workloads in a secure co-location manner. Obviously, we see and hear a lot with artificial intelligence and machine learning. So a high percentage of the respondents of the report, they interestingly enough are planning to move some of their critical AI and ML workloads from the cloud and to put it into a facility like CoreSite. So again, we were able to combine the co-location element with the cloud connectivity piece in order to deliver a very high dense, high performance, low latency type of path for their business. Security, no surprise here, and security remains a top priority for all of the enterprises that we speak to across the board. So with CoreSite, we are heavily involved with many regulated industries. So obviously holding the regulatory compliance requirements that support healthcare, financial services, government contracting. These are very important, and security is always top of mind when you look to a co-location provider. And lastly is interconnection. So clearly, interconnection, there's about 94% of the respondents believe that interconnection really is an absolute business necessity. When they put their IT infrastructure in our CoreSite data centers, that information, that data needs to speak to the outside world. So they have to have a very good choice of interconnection offerings within these co-location sites. So Asher, thank you. If you can move to the next slide. So this is the last slide. This is a little bit, it illustrates and kind of captures the entire story for CoreSite, but I do want to bring your attention really to the right side of the map where Northern Virginia is. So in Northern Virginia, again, our campus is located in the heart of Fairfax County. We've been here for almost 2 decades and operating one of the largest data center campuses in Fairfax County. And it's also one of the most well-connected facilities really in the entire world. So we have, again, a high concentration of network providers, cloud providers such as AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google, Oracle, IBM. These are all major cloud service providers that have deployed physically within our buildings, and it creates an ecosystem in which enterprises, networks, and clouds can all come together in order to conduct business. So we're very excited, obviously, about our presence in Northern Virginia. This campus here in Reston is going to be upwards of 100 megawatts of critical capacity and very well suited to support all the future workloads of the digital business. Thank you, Asher.
Matt, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
100 megabyte, that's impressive. We are out of the whole capacity.
Yes, 100 megawatts, correct.
So we talk about cloud application, the federal government, state and local. We talk about data center. Now let's move to the cybersecurity focus. I have extreme pleasure to introduce our long-term leader in the East Coast when it comes to cybersecurity, Mr. Mike Dent, the Chief Information Security Officer of Fairfax County. Mike, please take the floor.
Thank you, Asher. Thanks again for setting this up. and thank you to all the esteemed panel members that I get to be a part of. As you heard from Asher, Anil, and Matt, describe opportunities for cybersecurity companies in both Northern Virginia, preferably here in Fairfax County. I'm from this county. I grew up here. It's near and dear to my heart. It's this county, and from the IT perspective of what we do here serving our citizens. Last year, we were ranked number one in counties with populations over 1 million. So that's throughout the nation. So that's a big honor that we got through the digital county surveys that went out. The county and the region, we have some of the leading government cyber programs for local governments in this region alone. We have what we call the National Capital Region here, which consists of 26 jurisdictions, locals. That's some cities and some towns as well. That National Capital Region network per se is a private network of networks that we've interconnected to allow public safety to be able to communicate in the event that we have, God forbid, another 9/11, or we have something drastic happen. That network is a private network that we've all interconnected, and we share together for our public safety to serve our citizens from the 911 and life-threatening incidents that may occur. There's always the need to constantly improve and shore up our defenses. Thus, we're continuously looking for opportunities to work with cyber partners, which I think is why Asher and I have a good relationship, because he is always pushing vendors to me to let me look at their products, to let me try and give them advice on where they could improve things. And of course, because for us to do business with these companies, they have to have a presence in the United States, and we would prefer they have it here in Fairfax. In Fairfax, we have over 125 million citizens with hundreds of government locations and over 60 departmental businesses, partnerships, and missions. We have over 23,000 users, depending on the time of year. Those users range from elected officials to volunteers, contractors, full-time employees. And, of course, they all have diverse technical backgrounds. Our footprint includes 30,000 network devices that vary from on-prem to cloud, mobile devices, IoT, and operational technology, and industrial control devices. So we range the gamut, and it's public safety, it's parks and recreation, it's health, it's human services, it's human resources. Our portfolio includes thousands of client server applications and standalone applications, and we also have connectivity with our partner jurisdictions and state networks, major internet providers and vendors that support our county services, and there are some federal connections as well. At a high level, we have a staff of 14 who support the cybersecurity capabilities for the county, and that's including myself. We consider everyone employed in accessing or using the county systems as part of our team. So it isn't really just 14, it is however many of those thousands of employees we have at one time or another. We consider them all a part of the team because security is everybody's responsibility here. Everything from program management, policy and compliance, threat and vulnerability management, security architecture, security monitoring, and incident response are all a part of our strategy that we run. Additionally, we lead, again, the cybersecurity regional effort. I have chaired the regional CISO committee, which consists of those 26 CISOs, plus some of the federal agencies and some of the private industries that are a part of that network as well. I've chaired that for 15 years in its existence. Again, that part of it is a part to keep our public safety capability working in the event that we need to. Cloud migration, on this slide, there's a lot there. I'm not going to talk to it all specifically, but my office is key to our journey of moving our businesses within the county enterprises to the cloud. Our focus is on third-party vulnerability and risk management and their capabilities. We stress and require any potential existing cloud vendors to partner with us by ensuring they meet or exceed our standards and policies, from cybersecurity to appropriate use to emergency backups to recovery, continuity of operations. It's done through our architecture review board process in our security matrix that must be completed by all vendors. And that's just, it's just for me to show you that we do take it serious here. We do look to partner with companies that want to do business in the US, and we really prefer to bring them here to Fairfax. And we look for innovation. We look for anything that's going to help bring us into the next level when it comes to cybersecurity. And just so folks know that 8 years ago, we implemented endpoint security that included AI and machine learning, and we've been running that for that long now. And for me, it was a leap of faith to do that. We did it, and we've been successful from that. So companies that have innovative ideas, we look for you to come here. We look to partner with you if it's something that will fit in our environment. And again, Asher, I'm going to turn it back over to you because I look forward to listening to the rest of this and being a part of it.
Mike, thank you very much. We appreciate the comprehensive overview, and especially about the cloud migration. It was a big challenge for many organizations during the pandemic, 2020. A lot of organizations moved to the cloud, which created a challenge but opportunities. Let's move now. We talk about the capacity, we talk about the cyber, we talk about the application and work in different market. Now let's talk about how to bring innovation from Israel to the data center when it's come to dealing with energy, for data center. So for that, I will turn to Boaz Or, Chief Business Officer at Nostromo Energy. Boaz, please,
Yes.
the floor is yours.
Thank you, Asher, and again, thank you for this opportunity. We are seeing a huge potential in Virginia, especially with all the data centers that are there. And what I want to talk about today is about carbon-free cooling for data centers and commercial buildings. So next slide. So basically, buildings and data centers can install energy storage and get 3 types of benefits. So one is financial, utility bill savings and grid revenues, then environmental, so reduce the carbon footprint. This is very important for the data center itself, but also for the customers that use the data center. So the Amazons, the Facebooks, the Googles, and then operational. So this provides backup for the data center, extending the equipment life and providing them cooling without the need to operate so many diesel backup generators. The reason these benefits are given is because the community gets more renewables, local jobs, and grid resilience. So next slide. And the reason it happens is that buildings consume 74% of the electricity and 39% of the carbon on the grid. Data centers have a pretty constant use of cooling of about 40%, and this doesn't actually matter too much even on the climate, because this cooling is used to evacuate the heat that is generated by the servers. Next slide. So what we do at Nostromo is this is the innovation. We bring a new type of energy storage cell. It has ice inside, and it stores cold energy. We put 100, 200, 300 of these on each site. Each one stores approximately the equivalent of 10 kilowatt hours. We can go to the next slide. And inside there's capsules. There's a nice video on our website. I won't show it today just because of technicalities, but please look at nostromo.energy and see this video. It will explain how this works. And basically what we do is we shift the energy usage from one time to the other. So the secret on the grid is not the lack of energy. This is the exact slide I want to show. It's just that we now have 2 types of energy on the grid. During the day, we have what's called carbon-free energy that comes from solar. We can have PPAs. But then the sun sets, and then the grid puts on dozens of gas-fired power plants. So the electricity becomes really carbon intensive. If you store the cooling energy, you can avoid using that carbon intensive energy during the afternoon. And this is the biggest tool available for data centers and buildings in general to reduce their carbon footprint. Next slide. And also this, gives lead points. So often, buildings go into very big trouble to move from, a silver to gold or gold to platinum. We give that. And it also provides the building really flexibility that they can use to power up EVs. Because it used to be that the building, had its capacity, but now same building, let's also charge, 30 electric vehicles. Where does the electricity come from? It can come from freeing up the energy for the cooling. Next slide. So now, if you do that, and this is the goal for us in Virginia, you have many buildings and there's many candidates. You can create what's called a virtual power plant, and that's where the regulators become really interested in this, and it becomes a very powerful tool. Next slide. So just kind of one case study. This is from California, but this is one of the most famous hotels in the world, the Beverly Hilton. We put their 1.3 megawatt hour system. It's made completely of water, so no risk of fire or anything hazardous. And we retrofitted this hotel. It's an iconic, 1950s building. So think about that. A building built in 1950s. We retrofitted it through a 3-foot corridor and turned it into an energy storage monster. So this is kind of the capability that we can do. Next slide. And what it does, this is the Holy Grail in California. It reduces the peak demand between 4 to 9 p.m. This is where the solar dies out. And now this is really when the grid needs the energy. I think this is one more slide, maybe or two. Oh, there's a few examples here. So because we have a modular cell, we can put it around the parking lot. You can see here the red cells. Next slide. We can put it in a campus setting. This is very relevant, I think, for Virginia, as part of the architecture. So we make it a cool part of the architecture. Last slide, I think, is the next one. Or this is an example of a data center. Put it along the side. Really show both internally all the benefits that I mentioned, but also show externally that you're doing really something good for the planet and making it. So I've been, in touch with Asher for a while. I think the potential is huge in Virginia, and we're looking forward to start working there with different companies, and also my fellow panelists. Happy to talk with them, and obviously if someone of the participants, Asher, I'll share my email, and happy to hear from all of you.
Boaz, thank you very much. Very impressive. Again, with the need in our community here for more data center, but maybe help Dominion Energy with dealing with off-hours power supply. I think it can be a great fit. Our last speaker on the panel, Mr. Narendra Sen, the co-founder and CEO of REC Bank from India. So again, we bringing innovation to Northern Virginia. He's going to talk about cooling technology for data center. Please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me on this. Northern Virginia is, a hub for data center, and any data center partner or any operator in the world wants to have one pie in this big game in Virginia. They want to be there. So I'll start my journey. I don't have any presentations. I'll start straight talking about what we do, what we are doing in India, and what we want to do in Virginia. So my name is Narendra Sen, founder of REC Bank. We built this startup, it's been like more than 7 years running the REC Bank in Central India. We have data center capacity in Central India. Now we are building other parts of India, which is Navi Mumbai, and some capacity in South India. Apart from that, we started focusing on AI infrastructure. AI is the need of power, and AI is consuming 10x, 20x more power than the normal computer. So we decided, let's start our journey on AI infrastructure to help our international enterprise customers, to give them a training infrastructure in India. We started with that. Now some customers come up with that, can you serve us in other market? That's how we started thinking about the other market, and the other market apart from India is Virginia, US. So our solution is comprised of 3 layers. One is if you want to handle the AI workload, you have to change the design of data center, because traditional data centers are meant for 10 kilowatt of density. We are building 100 plus kilowatt of density. In one rack, you are going to put the 100 kilowatt, which means you have to have utilize the special cooling technology. And we built in-house the cooling technology, got patent in India. Now we are going to take the patent globally. We reduce the cooling requirements, as my colleague mentioned, that data centers, the majority thing is power for cooling, cool down the infrastructure. So we created Varuna. It's a liquid immersion cooling tank. It has 100 kilowatt of density. We can increase to 200 and can go up to 1 megawatt in one pod. And this reduced the PUE by 90%. This idea, we started working last 3 years. We have utilized the local dielectric coolant, which is edible oil, using that. And this indigenous technology is, compared to our competitors in the West, the cost saving is more than 70%, because we manufacture this locally and ship it. We can ship it anywhere in the world. So that's a technology. On top of it, we have our cloud layer as well, where we ease our enterprise customer. They don't need to, make sure for supply chain, they don't need to go and build their own data center, because some of the customers, they don't want to outsource their data center workload. So we create purpose-built AI infrastructure for them. In traditional data center, you require 200,000 square feet to accommodate 20 megawatt. In our case, only 50,000 square feet. So this is how we optimize the land area, we optimize the density, we optimize the cooling, and this complete solution help our customers to save at least 40-50% cost of going live with AI infrastructure. So that's a cooling system. You can check in our website and Varuna. I can send it across the URL of the technology. Initially, we built for our own purpose, but now we started, we can also sell to other data center operators and customer who want to deploy it in-house. So that's about me and my company. We are excited about, Asher is helping us, educating about the market, giving the opportunity that what are the possibility to enter into the US market. And we are excited about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Narendra. I'm going to thank you everyone for that part of the session. We're going to go now to Anuj that will do a survey, but maybe before it's going to try to run again the video about IACC. And then we'll come back for a short discussion with the panelists about the trend and challenges and opportunities in the sectors.
Thank you, Asher. I'm just going to share the screen. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for everybody sharing the results. I'll share the results right here. You can look at it. Thank you so much. Asher, do you want me to go ahead and or give 5 minutes for the attendees, or do you want me to go ahead and start with the
No,
conclusion?
let me ask one round of question of each panel.
Okay.
Start with Mike, please. We all know how maybe the debate or cloud or not cloud maybe ended 2020-21 with the pandemic changing reality. So my question for you, with majority of organization going to remote and hybrid work models, organizations are relying more on cloud-based collaboration tools and platforms. Hence, what are some key risks associated with these tools, and how can my mitigation be applied to protect against data breaches and unauthorized access, such as ransomware, for example? Please.
Well, that's a mouthful, huh?
Yes.
Well, I mean, your cloud's really not it's not a question of if people are going to do it. You know, in some way, shape, or form, some have gone to cloud as a whole, or in the majority of what you're going to see, I think, in industry and what we see in government is there's a hybrid piece of that. So that means, you know, whatever's at work in the cloud has to work on-prem and vice versa. You know, looking at cloud, you know, what we do in Fairfax is that we consider everyone that we work with, it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what we're doing, from the IT side of it, we want to consider you as a partner. So in doing so, that means that you have to meet or exceed my security policies and any of my procedures, things that I do. So we have an architecture review board where we sit all of the main areas within IT, and the businesses have representation on that board, and it's amazing. We meet once a week. We usually have 2 to 3 solutions that a business brings to us. So then, of course, the first question is, when they're going, the businesses understand when they're going to go that route, they have to receive a form from us. We call it our security matrix, which covers, you know, cloud security, endpoint security. You know, if it's going to be an on-prem solution, we're even getting to the point now where you have to have a very good business justification to keep your solution on-prem versus going to the cloud. You know, mostly some of the on-prem solutions we are not putting in the cloud right now are still the sensitive data ones. But we have identity and access management to include, you know, that they have to integrate with ours. It has to be able to use multi-factor. What is their threat intelligence and their detection? What's their incident response? You know, and how do they fit towards the zero trust model that we've built using the solutions we have? And then what kind of security automation and orchestration do they offer, or is there a capability there? And then above all else is the data privacy and compliance with any regulations that us as a government we have to comply with, you know, be it HIPAA, PCI, Sarbanes-Oxley. So those companies have to answer that questionnaire, and it's not a very long one, and quite frankly they're surprised because across this country, and I hear it a lot in some of the organizations I'm at, most governments aren't asking these questions, especially locals. So those questions are critical and important to ask and to get the answers to make sure that when you go into a relationship with a cloud vendor, you know, be it fully cloud or be it a hybrid model, that you have a good partnership and you have a good trust in what they're going to be doing for you, and making sure they want to protect your information to the same level, if not better, than what you do.
Thank you, Mike. A question for Anil. Let's focus on the federal government. That's your expertise. What do you see the trend in terms of agency moving faster, too slow on the cloud, and how is that impact their operational integrity? Can you talk about that, please?
Sure. So definitely, I mean, Mike touched few of the things from the Fairfax County perspective, but it's a lot similar on the federal government and other state and local. Obviously, things are not as fast as it should be. To be honest, we are not there yet. All the agencies are adopting it. It start with the easy things, or the things, the end user productivity, the emails and the collaboration, the communication were the first to get into the cloud. You name it, Google, email, or Microsoft Exchange, Outlook. So those things are already there. We're not there onto the applications. The infrastructures is being built. Obviously, it start with the worry, what would cloud? We don't have a control, all the cyber concerns due to all those federal government with the compliance and the regulations. Those of all those security, cyber security concerns had delayed the overall adoption. And later on, obviously now it's a reaching there, and obviously the budget and a lot of those constant in government which made things slow. But government is there now, especially the COVID had made it clear that you can't have a on-premises data center where you something like during you can't go to the office. The cloud is going to be there, and agencies are adopting it. Next thing is hybrid and multi-cloud. That's the reality. It's not going to be a single cloud solution. No agency is going there. It has to be, it will be the, obviously at the start for, I'm saying start, but for many years it will be hybrid. There will not be the applications moved to the cloud in a day. It will take some time where it will be on-premises and cloud hybrid solutions, as well as multi-cloud. All the key players will be there. AWS, Azure, or Google, or some others. And then there are other names who are specific cloud solutions, low code, no code, ServiceNow, Salesforce, and you name many of those which are going to be there. And then the second part from there is obviously the AI/ML is a buzzword. Everybody here, everywhere. That's going to change a lot of things. That's emerging as a game changer in cloud computing. It's of course, it's at early stages right now, but that will change. That will impact the cloud and the cybersecurity, both of those things. Edge computing is another area which is going to impact on the clouds, on the cloud side of the implementation. Every customer want things processing more on the edge rather than on the center. So that's another trend which the customers are who are more innovative, who are ahead of the game, are looking companies like. And overall the opportunity, since this is a today panel is showing the business or sharing the business opportunities, there are definitely, with all this going, there's a still the cloud management tools, how to get these things not as a commodity but make it more optimized, more cost effective. Those things will be required. How the overall automation, DevSecOps, the tools around that are still a big opportunity where things are going to be needed in the federal as well as state, local government.
Okay.
With the budget condition, it's always get more with less. So all those tools, technologies with the automation is a key. And on top is Michael touched a lot about the cybersecurity. That's another key area. With the AI/ML backed cybersecurity is needed for cloud.
Excellent. By the way, let people know on Capitol Hill, they're negotiating the next funding bill. They have time until Friday night to continue fund the whole U.S. Federal government. So that will give more clarity about data center, for example.
Asher, I got a question as a follow-up.
Yes, please. Let's go question from the audience.
Anil did summarize and touch base on the cost apparatus of the infrastructure part, but Matt probably you maybe will help to kind of answer this one is, and I'll read as it is, do you see cost of IT infrastructure for companies using AI in their application to go down?
It's a great question. I think it's a yes and no answer. I mean, a lot of the AI that's being driven today, it's coming through these GPUs, and these GPU systems and units are a very high cost, piece of the whole entire solution. So if you have this expensive infrastructure and these GPU pods that are powering the AI, they are being outfitted to go into data centers, and the power consumption of those units is also extremely high. And power is probably the single biggest price element when it comes to a data center solution. So you have the price of the equipment, and then you have the power element that is going to need to cool that equipment in the data center. So, but they're going to drive a lot of efficiency out of that technology with AI and ML. So it's a yes and no answer, in my opinion.
Thank you. Anybody else of the panelists who would like to take a stab at it?
Yeah, I mean, I will just absolutely, as Matt mentioned, the GPU, the cost will increase the cost, but I would say that for the smaller to mid-sized companies using the cloud-based AI can definitely reduce the cost. AI ML will help to overall optimize the cost. You don't need to build your own infrastructure for the whole AI ML. Leveraging the cloud side of the world and using the AI ML from there will help not only small, mid-size, but we as a company, we have implemented recently AML-based solution for IRS, basically getting or helping them to get into the paperless by 2027. Treasury Secretary was in our office here in Fairfax to launch that product. And it is going to help not only optimize overall operation, but also help them to save the cost using this AML tool.
Thank you. Asher, back to you.
Yeah, so I think let's conclude the program, the panel, then Anuj will close the program. So I want to thank again for all our speakers, Mike Dent, Anil Sharma, Boaz Or, Narendra Sen, Matt Jones, our partner from India, IACC, from Israel Advanced Technology Industry. And again, thank you for everyone for attending. Anuj, please conclude the program.
Thank you, Asher. Look, honestly, this is the hardest job for me to conclude because given everything is thrown out there, there's a lot of information there. Take it in bites. I would say first of all, thank you, the panelists, for your patience and helping us to navigate, and the attendees, on the other hand, thank you for their time as well. You can see some places, when you join in different geographies, it kind of changes the aperture of how you kind of digest your information. I would say to take it to two-pronged approach. One, we have a rep, Alex, and for our attendees, Alex and Dave, based out in India. Reach out to them for more information. Second prong one would be sign up to our newsletter. Fairfax County, we have our website, we have our newsletter, which can go out to hundreds of people targeting in the sector you would like to go. We're talking about cybersecurity data center right now. Northern Virginia, take it out, and I've dropped that link in the chat, is known as the Data Center Alley for the Northern Virginia. Take a look at it, see the numbers, and have a plan coming to it. We are here as a resource. What we would say is, look at the testaments from Matt, from Anil, from Narendra, and from Boaz, who are looking at the US as their portfolio, as they expand their portfolio. Look at it as a resource to your business. We would not be leaving you. We would be by your side. Michael, thank you so much for your time. And it's a great initiative from the county office. From that, I will leave it back, and feel free to reach out to us for any questions. And thank you again.